House Leader of Third Party.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 3 weeks ago, the Vancouver Police Department restricted media from covering the sweeps of the Downtown Eastside. Traffic cameras were turned off. The media were barred from entering the area. Police Chief cited privacy and safety concerns. It's part of a pattern of concerning police behaviour that seems to be increasing. Last year, media was restricted from covering the ongoing demonstrations on Wet'suwet'en territory, and journalists were unlawfully arrested. It also occurred at the demonstrations at Ferry Creek. Media restrictions placed by the RCMP were found to, quote, interfere with the important liberties of members of the media, end quote, by Justice Thompson of the BC Supreme Court. A free press is necessary for a healthy democracy, but despite warnings from our highest court, police forces continue to restrict media and hope to get away with it. My question, Mr. Speaker, is to the Solicitor General. What has he done to support the freedom of the press in incidents involving the police?
Solicitor General.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the question for the member. And what I can tell him is that, as he well knows, there are processes and procedures in place to guide and that are often ruled on when complaints are brought. There is a complaint process, and individuals can bring those complaints forward, and they will be acted on. In some cases, they're determined in a court of law, and the court and the judge make a ruling, and my expectation is that the police abide by those rulings. I note some of the things that the member noted, particularly in Vancouver. It was out for about 10 minutes. It was not anything malicious. It was just an outage. But we have rules in place. I expect police to follow them, and when they don't, there are complaint processes that are in place, statute-driven, that are able to deal with them.
Member supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Our public is seeing police forces growing increasingly authoritarian and out of the reach of independent oversight. The RCMP are not directly accountable to the communities they serve. They're accountable to Ottawa. The BC Conservation Service is a quasi-police force. They're embedded within the provincial government but don't have any policing oversight body. The Chief Constable of the Vancouver Police Department bragged about how they don't answer to anybody. To quote the Chief, quote, I don't report to any politician, I don't report to the City of Vancouver, I don't report to the province of BC or the federal government, end quote. So, who are they accountable to? Police are meant to protect and serve the communities they represent. Instead, we've enabled an inflation of power, and the police forces boast about not having to report to anybody. Mr. Speaker, my question is again to the Solicitor General. A special committee of this House tasked by him with reforming the Police Act and delivering better accountability for police forces was one of our recommendations. What progress has he made to this recommendation?
Solicitor General.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and I appreciate the question. First off, the police are accountable. They're accountable to the public, they're accountable to their communities, they're accountable to the province, they're accountable to the federal government. And there are mechanisms in place to ensure that. One of the things, and they have a very difficult job, as the member well knows, and I think all of us in this chamber know. But what I can also tell the member is that the work of the All-Party Committee, my ministry has been working very hard on those recommendations. There will be a phased approach in terms of dealing with the recommendations in that committee. The first phase will be dealing with with governance and oversight issues. Some of them identified in the all-party report, others identified by work that's gone on within my ministry, and it is my expectation and my plan as minister to have legislation dealing with those particular issues ready for the fall session this year when we come back in October.